Tiger. Love it. Mine tie too. To call to order the Village of Middleville Village Council meeting, August 12th. Rhonda, could I please have roll call?
Kevin Smith,
Here.
Robert Bishop, Tracy Gillespie,
Here.
Richard Hamilton, John Osterbahn,
Here.
Mackenzie Peters, Ann Williams,
Here. I would like to make a motion to dismiss trustees Hamilton, Peters, and Bishop. Support.
Motion with support. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. All right, will everyone please join me with a pledge of allegiance? Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
I will make a motion to approve the agenda as written. Support.
We have a motion with support to approve today's agenda. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries.
I will also make a motion to approve the consent agenda. Support.
We have a motion with support to approve the consent agenda, approval of minutes of the regular council meeting of July 22nd, and approval of bills for August 6th, 2025 for $188,688.98. Rhonda, could I have a roll call, please?
Tracy Gillespie,
Aye.
Richard Hamilton, John Osterbahn,
Aye.
Mackenzie Peters, Ann Williams,
Aye.
Robert Bishop, Kevin Smith.
Aye. Motion carries. All right. Public comment. Limit of 3 minutes, please. If you wish to speak, approach the podium. You have 3 minutes. Just state your name and address. Okay.
Yeah, you can go ahead. Yeah. Sorry. She did. It's okay. You step up to the podium.
Good evening. So last time I was here, I think everybody said, gee, who is that? Well, I'm Pam Woods, my husband Ty Woods. We've lived in Middleville now for 8 years. We love it. The reason I'm up here today is I would like to tell you what it is that I do for a living, other than the fact that I work at the funeral home up the street. I am a teacher, so to speak, on the dangers of distracted driving. I've been doing that since 2012. I've visited several high schools, businesses. I've been to a juvenile hall in Arizona where I had the attention of folks to express the dangers of distracted driving. I'm upset about it because it continues. On a personal note, and I really don't want to bring this part up, but I'm going to because you're here and I've got a lot of faces looking right at me. I am going to say that with my husband and my family, we did have a tragedy in our family. I have a grandson who is paralyzed now because of a red light runner who was texting on her phone. He's paralyzed from the chest down with a brain injury. But on a good note, and I bring this up when I go to my presentations, I start with the fact that this is what happened. I don't tell anybody that it's my grandson until the end, and then I hit him with it. This is our grandson. This is what happened to him. Well, in the meantime, this is the fun part of this conversation, is that Sean Doss is his name. He played for Mary Free Bed wheelchair basketball. From Mary Free Bed, Sean was recruited, this is the fun part, to the University of Alabama. He now plays for the University of Alabama wheelchair basketball. He's number 5. He has got a brain injury, but you would never know it. He is going for his master's in finance. That's his goal. His other goal is to maybe go into the paraplegic team later on, but right now his goal is finance and playing. I bring this up too. How much, am I good?
You're good. You have about 50 seconds.
50 seconds, 50 seconds. So as I heard an accident outside our window yesterday morning there at Grand Rapids Street and Crane, horrible accident, 5:30 in the morning, boom, it hit. It was the worst sound I've ever heard. My concern was when I was watching out the window and I'm watching ambulance come, fire truck come, and I see all this going out our bedroom window. I see them all coming. But the part that makes me the most angry is the people who kept speeding by the fire truck, by the ambulance, knowing that there had been an accident right there, and they just kept right on going. My hope and dream is to either get a signal there at Crane and Grand Rapids and or flashing yellow light. Somebody needs to know there's only 2 stop signs there, not 4. And they just blew right through it yesterday, and it was horrible. And so I think about that. So I brought up what it is that I do. I will continue to share the story of Sean Doss, and I will hope that something will happen at that traffic light that needs to be put there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, moving on. We have reserved time for Ventura.
My name is Carl Patoa from Ventura. We're out of Brighton, Michigan. We have landscape structures, playground equipment. I worked with Kim on some designs for the park. And
Can you just tell me where you want me to stop or go? How's
that's
that?
good.
Maybe flip this.
We're in the southeast or southwest side of the park is where we're looking at putting these pieces in. It's a 5 to 12, 2 to 5, some swings, a tire swing or a oodle swing, and a tot swing. So we'll have 2 different areas we're proposing, a 2 to 5 and a 5 to 12 area. There's some more pictures of the different pieces. Very unique pieces.
That looks like fun.
If you want to look at some more, I have some more photos with me. There's just a lot that's going on with these particular structures. It's hard to capture them all in that angle.
I think that's it. That's it for pictures.
Any other questions about anything?
If council recalls, you asked us to have Carl come in and talk to you guys face to face after, choosing him or choosing Ventura for the ones you wanted to work with. And then later on in the agenda, we can, if it's okay with council, you can approve an amount to work with him on, and then staff can work with Carl on, specific where to place them and design and stuff like that. So, but he's here to answer any questions. Sorry, John.
In the quote we saw, there was the wood fibers, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Was it ever quoted with the difference with rubber chips?
No, there wasn't quoted. We can quote it. We can quote it with turf, tiles, poured in place rubber. It's just depending on your budget, what you want.
What is the maintenance with the wood fiber?
Well, the wood fiber actually lasts pretty well. What it is it's a hardwood tree. You take the bark off of it, and it's not like your typical landscaping mulch. It's all hardwood. It's double ground, and it's certified for a particular fall height, depending on the height. So it does hold up very well. I would say probably in 5 years, you might have to put maybe 2-3 inches on it, replenish it. But there's different ways we can also do it. We could do poured in place paths, things like that. Because the poured in place rubber is quite expensive versus the wood fiber. So we can kind of balance it out and do what makes sense for the community.
Do you find the rubber chips last longer? Or-
Well, the Port and Place rubber, we sell the rubber chips, but I do not recommend them. Just because they're fun surface to walk on, but when kids kick them out or adults kick them out, they sit in the grass and they never break down until somebody picks them up and puts them back. So either Port and Place rubber, tile, turf, or wood fiber. That would be my recommendation.
Just saved me a pile of questions. John, thanks. And that's going to lead to the next question, which is maintenance in general. I mean, obviously, wood chips need to be maintained, but what about the equipment? What kind of traffic can it handle? It's not necessarily a high traffic scenario, but it is for the longevity of the gear. I'm just kind of
Oh,
curious.
for
about
sure.
that.
Landscape Structures, they pride themselves. They're out of Delano, Minnesota. They pride themselves on the quality aspect of it. And I always say, go look at Structures by Landscape Structures. You'll soon find out. You'll look at any structure and you'll say, this is Landscape Structures or this is not. There's a lot of differences that set them apart from the other manufacturers. So the maintenance goes down substantially. I mean,
What is the general material of the
aluminum post, you got tender tough coating, that's like a PVC coating for all the decks and handholds, anything you're touching pretty much. And then permaline is the hand panels and things like that. So
The decorative trash cans that we have along Main Street were Ventura products.
Oh, really?
Out of
Yeah.
Dumore site.
And we've had those for a really long time.
They hold up.
The benches and tables are also, yep.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And that's what Ventura prides themselves on, getting a good quality product. That's what we team up with manufacturers like that. I also brought some samples if you want to take a look at it after the meeting.
For sure.
Touch and feel, and I've got the samples. You'll soon find out that it is good quality equipment. For
I
sure.
apologize in advance for you waiting to the end.
No problem, man. That's what I do.
Some of the structures, are they covered? I noticed, can we go back to some of the pictures? Are they covered with some? Are those, look at those
Yeah.
fabric covers over? the
Yeah,
top?
there's fabric covers on it. However, you can leave them up, or you can not. You can. You don't have to have fabric covers on them. So
If we did, take them down in the winter, leave them up in the summer? Is that
we
kinda how that works?
recommend you take them down in the winter.
Yeah.
However, most people don't have the staff and that they leave them up. So we do a lot of work for the Ottawa area ISD, and they have a lot of big curtains or big shades, and they don't take them down. They've held up very well. I've only replaced once in 18 years.
How about lawsuits? People hurting their kids get hurt on them or whatever. I mean, I've got to believe that there's some sort of noise in that regard. I mean, anytime we put structures like this up,
Yeah, well, it's all built to ASTM safety standards. So they've taken all the entanglements, head entrapments, all that stuff is taken out of it. Whether somebody gets hurt and sues, there's not a lot you can do with it.
we just don't have enough.
I believe
Mark's
it falls
expensive.
under the umbrella of the township,
Yeah, yeah,
the village.
All right. And then you mentioned, I'm assuming that what you had mentioned at the very beginning is the age group, where
Mhm.
there's specific age groups.
Yep.
And we're doing this in the southwest corner.
Southwest corner. That's what we're proposing right now. We can reconfigure the equipment any which way you want. As long as the age appropriate, we keep the 2 to 5 together and the 5 to 12 together.
I mean, there's a skate park structure.
Yeah. Kind of give you a little reference. It's where those metal slides are currently out there.
Yeah.
That would be a reference point.
We're looking at the spot that has all the old equipment. So the merry-go-round, the old slides, the old swing sets. That's what we're looking at replacing.
Right when you walk in.
Yeah, right when you walk
Yeah,
in by the
so
big
like
rock.
where
Yeah.
Alice and
Yep.
that
Yes.
parking
Yep.
part, yeah,
Yep. Exactly.
right behind the church.
Yep. We're not talking about anywhere where the skate park is or anything like that.
The other
Yeah.
equipment staying up?
No, we're planning. Well,
No, I mean the newer stuff.
yes, right now.
And that's the path that's coming in,
Yeah.
that asphalt path coming
Mhm.
into the middle of the park.
And we're just planning on the gear, the structures. Are we gonna, I mean, what might be ideal is just kind of a visual separation, might be trees or something in between.
Yeah. I mean, there's still trees there, and then we can.
Just in terms of landscape
Yeah.
stuff. All right.
We'll work with our public works
All right.
department on that stuff.
I'm sure he's looking forward to that. All right, any other questions? I would definitely love to just take a look at more of your stuff.
Yeah.
Just to get a,
I'll stick around.
all right.
And I got some more designs that you can look at, different angles of it.
Okay.
It's very unique.
Awesome. All right. Any other questions or comments? Appreciate your time. Thanks.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. Petitions and communications, event permit, TK Homecoming Parade. Mr. Peterson.
I don't see Mr. Peterson
I
here.
don't either.
It's basically the same as it is every year.
Every year.
Trying to see if there was any hiccup in there. I don't think anyone had any hiccup other than whether or not they really expect us to be blocking the road. I don't think they do, just placing the blockades. And I've already talked to DPW about that. It's basically the same as it always is. You do have Sergeant Ware's concerns on there that as long as they make sure they have staff to man those barricades. And I guess EMS did say the same thing. Is that one usually okay?
They usually do it.
Okay.
Student council help out.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's necessarily possible to make it contingent upon whether they have people to block that, because we
You
only
can't.
know the day of, so.
You really can't.
um,
No. I mean, I usually go to that one and I don't see much
I mean,
bad happening up there either, so, other than getting hit in the face with candy now and then.
It's real.
It
True.
is.
All right. It looks like they have insurance and all
Yeah,
the
they have all that
necessary stuff,
Mhm.
so.
I'll make a motion to approve the event permit for the TK Homecoming Parade.
Support.
We have a motion with support. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Peterson, for showing up. We're gonna charge him double next time when he does that.
I just presented it for free.
Right?
Well,
Exactly. All right, application for event permit, Victor Humphrey. Howdy.
Let's see if we have anything.
A couple years ago, I did a haunted walk out there. I don't know if some of you remember that we did that. So I kind of understand this process. We're not doing a haunted walk. We're actually doing a recruiting event. So we're going to invite the youth and their families to downtown Middleville. We're going to give them a tour of a mock campsite for the scouts, what to expect when they go to the campouts with us, some of the skills that they're going to learn. For example, our first station, we're going to do they build a little first aid kit they get to take home with them. And then we're going to teach them a life-saving skill where you use a tarp and 2 logs, and you roll the logs into the tarp and you can make a little stretcher, and the kids will have fun kind of carrying that around. So I'm going to be based at the not the gazebo, the
pavilion.
the pavilion, yeah. And I'm going to talk with the parents. I'm going to have some members of the Rotary out, keeping an eye on kids, making sure they're not led astray. What I'd like to try to do is have timed tours. I'm still going to accept people that just show up as well, but I'm going to present to the adults, let them know, the history of scouting, what to expect, things like that. My goal here is to get a lot of our youth into scouting and teach them some of those good morals and the good behaviors and things to live by. And I've got financial aid assistance from council, and I also have it from the Rotary. So everybody that comes and signs up, I'll actually be able to give them their first year for free membership in the Scouts, so they can at least try it. Hopefully get them to some meetings, get them excited about everything, get them into it, and get more involved in the community. Are there any concerns anybody has with what I have set up? I mean, I do know, like, we're gonna have a dining fly set up, which is a kitchen. All right, we'll have our little propane stove and everything. I know the concerns, like, we won't stake anything down. We'll bring weights to make sure that we're not putting anything in the ground or anything. We do want to give out hot dogs, but that's part of what we're using the Rotary for. They have the health department license, so they're going to be like in charge of that portion of it, so that way everything's up to code and correct.
DPW, electricity.
DPW didn't have any concerns other than the stakes, which we've already talked about. The only thing I can see is it looks like they might extend into that parking lot over there. I apologize. I didn't realize how hard this was to see on the screen. So that's the only thing I see, is whether or not we impede that parking lot with whatever is right here.
I used a cheat program to make it, and I couldn't make it exact. It will not be in anywhere other than grassy areas.
Okay,
I don't
perfect.
want kids running around in
Yep.
parking lots or in
Okay.
any area where vehicles can drive.
Okay.
It's good policy.
So my apologies.
That's a good policy. Quick comment before we move on. My oldest received his Eagle Scout. It's phenomenal. The skills and even the work ethic, the problem-solving skills, and just general common sense. Boy Scouts, it's really underappreciated as to how powerful that can be in a boy's life. So it is for sure
Thank you.
a great event, and I wish you the most luck.
Thanks. Yeah, a lot of the parents that are involved, we're really focused on getting back more visible in the community, seeing us out doing stuff in the community. For example, we used to shovel driveways for some of the elderly, and that kind of went to the wayside the past couple of years. So I'd like to get back to being able to schedule those kind of service projects throughout the year in our community.
Excellent. All right.
I will make a motion to approve the event permit for Boy Scout recruiting. Support.
We have a motion with support. Any further discussion? All right. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thanks for
You guys
bringing
have a good night.
Yep, you as well. We don't have any ordinances or resolutions, Craig. So we're going to move on to your village manager report.
Okay. All right, you got my report in front of you. First of all, I'd like to introduce JD Pennock. He's our new Public Works Director. If you want to stand up and say hi, JD. Started last week, Monday, hitting the ground running, discovering we have a lot of deferred maintenance items that we're finding out about. So probably every week you're going to have something of the larger size to approve. Well, we are fortunate that we have, healthy fund balances, as you know, in general fund, water, sewer, roads. But these are things that, should have been taken care of a long time ago. And unfortunately, well, it's just the way it is, unfortunately. So we'll talk about that when we do. And then also Heather Shinovar, she's our new admin assistant and deputy clerk. Also started Monday and is doing phenomenal. She's getting along with all of us, keeping me in line already. So we're pretty good shape.
Surprising you're getting along with Craig.
That's-
Congratulations
It's
on that.
tough. And then, only other note I wanted to point out, the online learning platform is up and running. Tracy's already taking advantage of it. I don't know if you want to talk about that at all, Tracy, but just a reminder that, training, some form of training every year is a requirement to maintain our redevelopment ready certificate. So every council member, every planning commission member, every DDA, every needs to take some form of training every year. So if that's something that you on there that you're interested in, let me know. If not, we have funds available, and Tracy's interested in taking more if you all don't, take advantage of it. So let me know. Any questions?
No.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Sergeant Ware?
Hey, good evening, everybody.
Hello.
Bishop Camp.
I'll start by saying, Pam, thank you for sharing that. That is a huge problem, statewide, nationwide, especially in this area too. We see it, we try to do what we can, but sharing stories like that is going to help a lot of people come to realization of how dangerous it really is. So I appreciate you sharing your story. Any questions on the numbers, council? All right, a couple key things I wanted to cover this month. First and foremost is ORVs and side-by-sides in the village. There's been a lot of misinformation going around that I keep hearing chatter about. I want to make sure that I set the record straight as far as what the law is inside the village. ORVs, side-by-sides, golf carts are not allowed on village streets or on M roads. The Berry County ORV ordinance does not include the village of Middleville. It does not include the village of Freeport, the city of Hastings, the village of Nashville. It is specifically stated in section 2E that you are not allowed to operate on any city or village road surface unless they have their own ordinance that allows so. So we default back to state law. State law is a misdemeanor to drive those vehicles on the roadway. If council so chooses and they want to adapt the ordinance that Mr. Powers had previously presented to you guys, the last council, that would allow them to be on the roads. But until something like that happens, they are not allowed in the village whatsoever unless they're on private property. That's the only exception. When you got rid of the ordinance, you also got rid of the stipulation that said you couldn't operate them on your own private property. Now you can. So if somebody wants to whip donuts in their own driveway or around their house, they can do it. Okay. Secondly, the flock cameras. Been a lot of chatter about that lately too. I want to make sure that people understand that the flock cameras only capture license plates. They do not capture drivers. They do not run those plates. All they do is capture the digits, and they try to get the state as close as possible. In order to figure out who that vehicle belongs to, the make and model of that vehicle, we have to run the plate as law enforcement through our lien and NCIC networks. Flock is literally only capturing the license plate. It's taking whatever it sees. It's creating a digital version of that, and that's what's recorded. It's not recording any personal information whatsoever. After 30 days, it drops out of their system completely, and it's no longer searchable. Unless we specifically save a vehicle's plate, it's gone. So the fear of people thinking like we're capturing all this data to stalk people and track people down, that's just not the case. It's not how the system works. Lastly, self-storage units. The thefts are up again, both here in Middleville and throughout the whole county. We're seeing a big influx currently in Hastings. So if you have self-storage units, please go check them. I know some people, they throw all their things in there, they let it sit for a year or two, then they come back and then they're shocked to see that half their stuff's missing. We recommend that you periodically check on them. Please make an itemized list of everything that's in your storage units. We cannot help you if you don't know what's missing. All we can do is take the report that somebody broke into yours. We recommend most storage units allow for 2 locks. Put 2 locks on it. It's a deterrent. Okay. But they're happening, and we're seeing lots and lots and lots of property gone with inabilities to know what's actually gone because people just don't check frequently enough. So with that, is there any questions for me?
What's the state cruiser been sent out here lately?
So that is a trooper that lives in Kent County, and they changed their policy that says they no longer allowed to drive their patrol cars outside of their post area. So for here, it would be the Berry County troopers. The post area would be Allegan County and Berry County. So he lives in Kent County, so he drives here. I've asked about that and I haven't heard if he ever got permission or not to actually do that, but he was directed to contact village staff to get permission to park there or not. So,
And he did, and I gave him permission.
Okay. So that's what that one's there for.
So he works in Berry County, but
He works in Berry County, yep.
lives in Cat. Okay.
Yeah, so much like we usually have two that don't work in the village. It actually puts more coverage in the village at certain times of the day when they're starting and ending their shift. It allows for them to be able to respond right at 6 a.m. We kind of talk, those guys park up here, and then I directed the trooper to talk to Craig as well. Permission, so.
Okay.
Any questions for Sergeant Ware? About the flock cameras, there is as much misinformation that's going on around our community. If you go online, it's even worse. And I mean, people have it tracking locations and doing speed checks and all kind, and that's just simply not what that platform does.
Right.
The only thing I would ask that you comment on is system access and the controls that you have put in place so that we can clarify that there are measures in place to ensure that it's not abused.
Yeah, so currently, not everybody has access to it. The only ones that have access are sergeants, our road lieutenant, and our undersheriff, and then the two deputies that work up here with me. They're the only ones that have any access whatsoever. At the top access, the admin access, you have myself, you have our lieutenant, and you have our undersheriff. Our undersheriff knows how to log in, but doesn't touch it. He'd rather not know anything about it. Our lieutenant's basically the same way. I'm pretty much the sole admin for the system, as I'm the supervisor here for the village where the system's owned. Our sergeants have access to search. They have access to create what we call a hot list, which is essentially if I'm looking for a specific vehicle, not to get into too much detail because it's an open investigation, but we had a larceny break-in at the new Mid-Villa site. I create a hot list for a vehicle that we were tracking related to that, and that's basically what we do. We create a list of any vehicles related to a specific case. We have to have a case number, we have to have a purpose code, and then we can track that vehicle throughout the state is what we share with is throughout the state.
So you actually have to have a case. You can't just
Correct.
search without a case. Okay,
Correct.
I want that
So
point.
our policy won't let you do it without a case.
Good.
Flock will not let you do it without a purpose code. So example, larceny, stolen vehicle, missing person, kidnapping, they require the purpose code. They offer the spot for the case number. Our policy requires a case number.
Perfect.
If I'm looking to help out another agency, I have to pull a case number before I'm allowed to then start searching Flock. If it there's been 2 or 3 times where something's coming in. Example, we were looking for a hit and run suspect. We didn't have the case number yet, so we can still access our Flock cameras. We can still search for that vehicle before we have our case number, and then we retroly go back in and add the case number in to make sure that the tracking is done properly. So our policy still requires the case number regardless. So the one was right here on Main Street. It happened. Deputy Yonkers and I were sitting in the office when it came in. It was after my shift, right as his shift started. We both responded. He got a quick vehicle description before he got a chance to pull the number. I had the vehicle on Flock camera coming to and leaving the scene.
Nice.
It was that quick. And then we went back in and we added the case number. We did it in our narrative. We added the supplement report stating that we accessed Flock, why we accessed Flock, and what the results were. So we do lots of documentation to make sure that we're not misusing the system in any way, shape, or form.
Awesome.
Go ahead.
I just had a question on oversight. Is there someone that's in charge of like looking at any logbooks or making sure that that stuff's taking place? I mean, I'm sure it is, but I mean, as far as like reassuring people.
Yep. So within the system itself, it has an audit tool. I periodically will go through there. I can tell you that probably 75% of the searches are done by myself. So it's pretty easy to see what it is, but I will go through and I will check. I have one sergeant that did a search just the other day. I did, I'll call it a partial audit. It was more just to see who's accessing and what's using it. It wasn't like a formal documented audit. Flock documents that I went in there and did it, but I didn't document it. And I could see what he was searching for. I can make sure that, yep, he had the purpose code, he had the case number. I can go check that case to reference to make sure that what he was looking for is directly related to that case. So I have access to that as an administrator. Our undersheriff and our lieutenant also have access to that as admin.
Last question I have, sorry to drag this
So you're
out.
fine.
And you can give me a 2-sentence answer or 1-sentence answer. It doesn't have to be detailed, but how well received was the flock camera system generally for Berry County Sheriff?
I can tell you our deputies are extremely happy to have it. The biggest thing is it's not just access to our cameras. It's access to the statewide cameras. Any department that's willing to share with us, that we're willing to share with also, we have access to. The case I spoke with, I was accessing Kent County and Kentwood cameras to track a vehicle that stole from our community. Without Flock, we wouldn't have that access or as easily have that access because now we know who has them and who doesn't have them. So we know who doesn't have them. We're not wasting our time trying to call them and say, hey, can you look at your cameras? We have access to it. So our deputies are extremely excited about it, the ones that have had their sergeants help them use it and things like that. But again, they don't have the direct access to it. The sergeants do. So that kind of keeps it out of the hands of everybody else. So there's a lot less chance of misuse by doing that. But yeah, everybody's excited that we have this.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what's the likelihood that Berry County generally adopts it?
As far as getting their own,
Yes.
I would like to say 9 out of 10 if you're asking law enforcement. If you're asking the county commissioners, I'm not even going to guess. I think the big thing is we're trying to build and show how effective it is, how much it helps us, how much time and money is saved by being able to have these camera systems versus trying to spend hours driving around the block looking for a car in order for them to buy into it. So we're trying to build that right now with what we have up here.
On the hot list, so you put a license plate on there you're looking for, does the system notify it when it comes in or you have to search and find it?
Both. So if I create a hot list, I can share that hot list with other agencies that it could hit off their cameras too. Otherwise, it will hit off our cameras. If I create, so that vehicle, if I put it in the hot list, which I did, and it comes back into the area, which it did, it'll trigger an alert both on our emails, if we're logged into the system on the computer, or if we're logged into the app on our phones. It gives us an alert. In fact, my phone's got alerts currently on. So even when I'm at home, I'll still get the alerts. That way I can quick notify somebody on the road, hey, this just came through. So the hot list ones, yeah, it's specific to our agency, but we can share it with a specific agency. So if I know that this person frequents, Big Rapids, I can send it up to Macassa County or to Big Rapids and say, hey, can you add this hot list to your system? And then they basically just say, yep, they accept it. And then it'll start hitting off their cameras too and alerting them to our hot list. Otherwise, it goes off. The state police has twice a day, they enter in all the what we call NCIC, National Crime something system. They'll enter, so stolen vehicles, missing persons, wanted subjects that are attached to vehicles. They'll enter that in twice a day. So we'll get a lot of our alerts that we get are actually coming off those lists, whether it's a stolen plate, a stolen vehicle, wanted subject, things like that. We had a wanted subject out of Wisconsin come through here about a month ago. So we even got an alert from Wisconsin because it got somehow entered in Michigan's system. So
Thank you. Appreciate your answers. Any other questions? All right. Moving on, Mr. Powers.
Good evening, Council. So as you can see, there's been a handful of zoning permits, one being a new dwelling, others miscellaneous with a few sign permits and a couple right-of-way permits. The Planning Commission did not have any business for their August meeting, so that meeting was canceled. 36 State Street, I do have Greg Taylor here with Copper Rock with us, and we can talk about that a little more. I left this blank as we have it on a later agenda item, so probably enough said there. Good amount of things going on. The one thing I'll mention too, related to the DDA board retreat, that's this Thursday. I don't know if anyone has any questions about anything specific in here. Included a good amount of information. Anything you're interested in. Be happy to elaborate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sweet. My turn.
Hello, Mr.
This is a 6-week report. Somewhere along the line, we got bumped last week. Couple things that to take note of is there's grass is still growing. I had 127 notices of various types on grass alone. A lot of duplicates, but it's still growing. We're waiting for the August drought, but it hasn't happened yet. Few cuts of interest. Some various mundane things going on, but there was a signs ordinance with that was offensive, but it's kind of changed a little bit.
I'd say significantly.
It's
I'll use the strong language.
It's enough to go say, okay, we'll play you the game.
Yes.
But, and one thing I did want to bring up, the banner signs at the church.
Yeah.
I put an order, a citation or I had them take it down. One of the sharp-eyed, because the ordinance says so. A sharp-eyed parishioner saw another spot that allowed the sign to be there. So it was my mistake for not knowing that, not going far enough into the ordinance. But I'm glad that he pointed that out.
Very clear. It's a non-issue now. But I'm glad we went through the exercise.
Well, it was an exercise in, that worked out well.
Yes.
So, questions, comments?
Thank you for what you do. Liaison reports. That's me. I guess it's me. I'm sorry. So last DDA meeting, first of all, it was remarkable to have a full board, because then looked like I got put into the corner on the stool. I was just missing the hat. It's nice to have a full board. And there was a lot of great conversation and input. It was very lively, and the questions are great. We have from the new members. We continue to discuss the development plan and how the development plan works in conjunction with the master plan, which this is all top of mind topics that we're dealing with right now. But I think we're going to brush the dust off of a few topics in our master plan. I think the development plan, as we continue to go through that process, will be a nice complement to the master plan. And it was just really great to have those conversations. We discussed having a free day for vendors for the farmers market, which I think, to be quite frank, we really, in order to generate traffic, I think we all agree that the more vendors there are, the more traffic there is. And I think we need to expand our ability to not just do it the way we've always done it, but to look at other avenues. We discussed what those options might be they food trucks or giving a free day to vendors. But it was such a wonderful resource to have, and it brings a lot of people downtown, which we really love. Anything that we can do to make that better and just make it a more vibrant day. The discussions were, again, fairly lively and enjoyable, and I think over time we'll be able to refine that. Cassie's report was great, and her attention to things that need to be paid attention to, and that includes our local businesses. And she's very active in doing that, and has a lot to bring to that role. Our social district was approved and by the LCC, right? Or Laura. Okay. Whoever she is. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. So that was approved, and which I think we were discussing how we create some controls for that. And again, I think that any kind of economic or social event that can bring people to the downtown area is just really our goal. And I think we've got a lot of tools in the toolbox now, and we continue to add to them. And I think with our alignment with the Main Street Initiative, it's going to be even better. So I'm very excited about the direction of the DDA and how what I believe to be very successful, just a very successful brainstorming session, and we'll continue to bring a lot of value to the village. So I'm excited about that. So it was a great meeting. And that's pretty much all I have about that. Since nobody else is liaising, I think we had a library meeting that happened recently. I don't know if there's anybody that has any input from that. Okay. All right. Well, I won't put anybody else on the spot.
The library committee presented to Thornapple Township and, some ideas and stuff like that. And you've seen the presentation. They had an idea of, maybe later down the road, putting village council, township hall and library all together in the one community building down at the Quadplex. But I think that idea would need work if that were to take place. So they didn't seem very warm about it. I'll just say that.
There's always work to be done.
Is it big enough, that building?
No,
I
we'd
think
have
that
to tear it
building,
down.
No.
yeah, that building
It would be a new
won't be the building. Yeah.
That
I think we
has
just use
that.
that as a physical reference.
Yes, yeah. Everything, like electricals ran and.
Okay. Moving on to unfinished business. Mr. Stolzenberg with the Calvin Hill Playground equipment.
Yep, so, met Carl. If you're interested in moving forward with this, he said we could still have it happen this year, the new playground equipment this year. So we just need a motion to allow us to work with them on some stuff that makes sense. Mostly what he's already presented, but I think it's a good plan. We've got funds in the budget that can make it happen, and guys can start tearing stuff out.
I mean, Calvin Hill, we have discussed improving the Calvin Hill Park over and over and over again, and I think this is a good move. That's in terms of public structures and gathering spaces, I feel like that side of town is not well served. I think this would be a nice boon for that. And I hear a lot from families that take their kids there. I think this would be phenomenal for them. So,
Yeah, I will make a motion to approve up to $163,000 from Parks and Rec's budget to allow staff to work with Ventura on design and spacing characteristics of the southwest corner of Calvin Hill Park and proposed guidelines from Village Council.
Support.
we have a motion with support. Rondo, could you please do roll call?
Richard Hamilton, John Osterbon,
Aye.
Mackenzie Peters, Ian Williams,
Aye.
Robert Bishop, Tracy Gillespie,
Aye.
Kevin Smith.
Aye. We'll talk about not to exceed. Offline. All right, motion passes. Thank you very much.
I'll
And
give it to
moving on,
Carl, so.
unless you had more about it.
Nope.
All right. Hang on, I have to scroll. Oh, brother. Okay.
51.
Yep, here we are.
Back again. Speaking of deferred maintenance issues, this one should have been handled. I didn't know that the quote was in place until we presented it to you, and turns out it was about 6 months too old. In the meantime, things like, more wars in the Middle East and tariffs and things like that have started driving, prices up. The good news is, this is still with the My Deal program. Michigan goes through, they source everything. For example, the pickup truck we just purchased, it's in the packet of bills, like $52,000. It's a $70,000 truck all day. If a private business were to purchase this leaf vac, they're probably looking at 200,000 plus. So that's the good news about it. Bad news is, it has gone up since then, and they still have to build it. So we still, even approved today, will not have it till next year because they still have to build it. So
How long does it take to build?
about 6 months. So,
time.
but with that, they did offer to split the difference with us. Instead of being 182,000, now it'd be 176, as you see in your packet. So, and I sent it all to you via email and things like that. So didn't receive any questions from any of the missing members.
And Craig's had to endure a lot of phone calls from me about this. In full transparency, the village provides a lot of really great services to the residents. Picking up leaves and brush every couple of weeks. It's a lot more than just doing those tasks. I mean, it's extremely expensive. The leaf vac system, obviously, the one that we currently have, it breaks down all the time. It's very expensive to maintain. Craig's already heard my arguments about that, so I'm not going to repeat them here. But other than these are very highly specialized pieces of equipment.
And something that should have had routine maintenance more than what it did, to be
Right.
perfectly honest. And, JD already has a really good plan. We're working together to have a, much better plan moving forward, not only on, this equipment, but all of our equipment to have routine, things taken care of, and we'll be, much better at that moving forward. So, and, if we don't pick up the leaves and the brush and things like that, then they go down our storm drains and they break our drains and we have to dig them up, and it's costs a lot more money to fix that stuff. So,
For sure. I mean, the sticker shock on this and the timing was complicated.
I understand.
I know that we are going to be swapping a capital improvement.
We're working through that stuff. There might be something, we're working through that. Yeah.
Okay.
JD's already found a less expensive option for the big dump truck already. So we're working through that stuff. We're looking through all of the capital improvement plan next week to get it ready for the 2026 budget also. So that'll be coming soon also.
So we're accelerating. I mean, this was on the docket for next year.
Moving
Was
it forward.
part of
yes.
our budget planning.
Yep.
However, anytime you accelerate something like this, the concern is always, okay, well, that's great, but then what don't we get this year? And because that's definitely going to happen. So whatever we're not getting for Christmas, I'm hoping that it can help balance the spend out, because this was really out of left field. And my only advice in circumstances like this, and I'm not publicly chastising you, Craig, because this was as much of a surprise to you as it was to me. I mean, these are big deal. This is a big deal, and it would have been really nice to know how much maintenance and how complicated this topic really truly is, and why we're accelerating it. But it just adds to the value of what we provide our residents for the taxes that they pay.
Yeah, I mean,
Just want to be good stewards about that.
the reason it was accelerated is because we're not sure that the current one's going to be able to make it through this upcoming
Right.
season. So
Right. No,
that's
you were
why.
very clear about
Yeah.
that. So with that, any other questions for Craig regarding the leaf vac?
If we approve it now, will they guarantee the price
Yes. Yep.
a year from now?
Yes.
And
Well,
we'll-
we'll have to put some down and get it going, and maybe even the entire amount to, read through everything. But I have to spend the whole amount now, but yes, it's guaranteed that price.
What happens if the leaf thing doesn't make it till next year?
We'll have to contract some stuff out or figure out another way to make it happen. So it's not going to be me. Don't
New
look at me
victim.
like that, Kevin.
Sure, we're in good hands. We're in totally good hands. I feel
No.
good.
Yeah, right.
All right. Well, with that, a motion is in order. Oh, brother. Fine.
You can make.
Brother. This is. So I guess I will make a motion for the village council to review and consider approval of purchasing a new leaf vac system through MI Deal for the Department of Public Works for the amount of $176,000, not to exceed a single penny more than $176,515.14.
So you'll have to amend that to say, actually
Approve.
move to approve.
Yeah, we'd like to
Not review and
move.
consider that you're actually
Okay,
approving
let's
the
move to
purchase.
approve. Reword that, not to exceed $176,515.14.
Support.
We have a motion with support. Would anyone like to discuss this further?
I did have some questions until I realized that it might affect our water system negatively, and that would be a shame with all the work we're putting into it, so. What are you gonna do?
It's all good points. We have a motion with support. No further discussion. Rhonda, could you please have roll call?
John Osterban,
Aye.
Mackenzie Peters, Ann Williams,
Aye.
Robert Bishop, Tracy Gillespie,
Aye.
Richard Hamilton, Kevin Smith.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So today you received before you the economic development strategies, a little bit of an update along with some potential next steps. So the reason this is being brought for you is twofold. One, is the economic development strategies are currently, they're very similar to what's being proposed before you, but I want to be able to answer any comments, questions, or concerns related to efficacy in regards to what's been currently going on. However, as you'll note in the background, there have been a substantial amount of changes. But like I said, I'm certainly happy to discuss any of this from an efficacy standpoint that you'd like me to go into in greater detail. But a little bit about the updated strategy. One of the big items, the first item being business retention and expansion. Quite frankly, the previous version that was adopted by this board did not have strategies related to infill development. So there were some potential gaps that could have prevented us from, future utilization or refill or infill opportunities. So a lot of the changes were focused around the area. I've included, like what some of those new tools are, along with next steps. Clearly, this will be a rolling document going forward if adopted by the council that would guide our economic development strategies, which this would be anticipated to be good for through 2027, but you would receive annual updates. If anyone has any questions about what was done last year, or if the board, what's being asked is for the board to consider, adopting the draft economic development strategies for you.
Certainly in alignment with what we have going on in terms of the environment and including our shrinking residential opportunities.
So yeah, the other changes are just updates,
Yeah.
really. Like the businesses weren't properly reflected. We've had transition since, the original in 2017 was adopted.
Well, any further discussion or questions for Doug? All right. Believe a motion is in order.
Were you approving the updates?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the economic development strategy updates and the next steps.
Support.
We have a motion with support. Any further discussion? All right. We can just do a regular, yeah. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
So the next item before you is the purchase and sales agreement for 36 State Street. So the recommendation is staff recommends that the village council review and consider the attached purchase and sales agreement for the disposition of 36 State Street. About the background, staff has worked with the village attorney and representatives from Copper Rock, which, as I mentioned, Greg Taylor is here, hoping after I complete, he can give you some additional background about some things that you may not be aware of, what's been going on with this site. But the agreement reflects several rounds of discussions intended to protect the village's interests while facilitating future development of the site. While many provisions have been negotiated and clarified, the current draft may not reflect final legal review. The village attorney is present at today's meeting, and so the next steps would be for council is asked to review the draft agreement and determine whether to proceed with the approval pending any final clarifications from legal counsel staff. I'll provide as I am right now. Any questions for me? You want to hear from the attorney or like me introduce you to Greg?
Where's
Give you a little
36
more
State
background.
Street?
36 State Street, so you can almost see it from here. It's the other side of the river.
Oh.
So it's the parking lot that's adjacent to
To the
TVC Church and Meadowline.
Would love to hear any input that you might have with regard to the whatever limited amount of information you can share at this point, but
Thank you. Good evening, council. Thank you for letting me mention a few things that we've been working on with Craig and Doug relative to this site that we're excited to take next steps on. Again, my name is Greg Taylor. I'm with Copper Rock Construction and Development. We're based out of Grand Rapids, and I'm happy to report that since I was before you many months ago, we've been making some good progress here in Berry County, all of which I think will be beneficial to our ability to successfully develop this site across the river. You may or may not be aware that we recently completed all of the pre-development and broke ground on a 135-unit complex in downtown Hastings that we've been working with the Community Foundation, very closely with the city, MEDC, Eagle, FEMA, kind of a laundry list of related development entities on a site very similar to the site that the Village owns here. And we're happy to report that we were successful in putting together a package. That project actually is the first to use CPACE financing in Berry County. So we were helpful in getting CPACE approved at the county commission level so that now that can be done anywhere in the county. Again, it was a great project because we got to know a lot of the folks here in the county very, very well, and we feel very comfortable moving forward here in Middleville. We're excited to enter into this purchase agreement, which would be the first formal step in the process in terms of contractual control. But I would like to share that leading up to our conversations regarding that legal document, there has been a lot of activity going on relative to soil investigations, environmental investigations, and discussions regarding how to best fit into the neighborhood. On a preliminary basis right now, we're looking at preliminary development, which would be 2 apartment buildings, 3-story market rate, kind of attainable level apartment product, very similar to what we are doing in Hastings, same model. About 42 units is what we're projecting, which would have adequate parking. Coincidentally, it's about a 42,000 square foot development that our architects have indicated would be the scope of the project. Probably would take about 15 months to fully develop from a groundbreaking, and would be the product would be 1 and 2 bedroom apartments, ranging from the middle 700 square feet for 1 bedrooms up to just under 1,100 square feet for 2 bedrooms. We're very open to exploring other ways to integrate this project with other village amenities, whether it be a walking path or anything else along the riverfront that would be helpful to attract people to downtown. Again, we're very excited and ready to mobilize on this. We think the Hastings experience, which took longer than we had hoped, but was very thorough because of multiple easements and other floodplain and floodway issues and a couple of rounds with MEDC. We think we can compress that, but we would appreciate your consideration to give us the latitude to do the work that needs to be done. But we feel that we still have wind in our sails from that Hastings experience that we can deploy here. We're certainly happy to answer any other questions. I don't have any images to share with you this evening. We don't have any formal approvals from the state or any other bodies because we would do all of that after we enter into the contract. But we will certainly hit the ground running if that's the next step. And we, again, appreciate the opportunity to work with the village and add some value here in Berry County. Thank you very much.
Nice. Quick question before you take a seat. I know semantics, but the term attainable versus affordable, would you say they're interchangeable?
Not really. There's a lot of, unfortunately, our industry is full of acronyms and jargon, and that area is loosely defined by MSHDA in terms of maximum rental rates that you can charge in each county, and those are published annually. What we ended up doing in the Hastings example is we have a portion of our units that are at or below a certain level of economic income. They're not Section 8, they're not subsidized in any way. We don't have any LIHTC financing or anything like that. It's traditional financing, but they do fit within the MSHDA definition of attainable. And then the remainder of those units, which I believe in that case was 80%, are market rate. So whatever the going rate in the market would be, that's what we would be charging. But the building will have, modern finishes and amenities. And if you're not familiar with the C-PACE financing vehicle, we're very excited about that because you're probably at some level familiar with LEED certification, which was something that was very popular 10 or 15 years ago. The C-PACE program has a lot of the same elements, promoting both sustainability in the product itself and also utility savings in the materials used for the construction. So we're excited that this project in Hastings is kind of it is literally the first one in Berry County to use that new vehicle. And we would likely pursue that for this project as well.
Sure.
I don't know, Kevin, does that answer your question? I know there's no definitive answer.
No, I think you gave me enough keywords so I can look it up. So
Okay.
we'll go from there.
All right.
But I appreciate you and appreciate your interest, and we certainly are welcoming anytime there's any way to add again more people in the downtown area and give them the amenities that I think are going to follow. It's very exciting. It's very exciting to have your interest.
Thank you.
So thank
And,
you.
Even though I may not have the highest energy level at this time of the day, please don't take it the wrong way. We're very excited about this project, and we've enjoyed working with everyone here at the village and the welcome that you've given us. So
Wonderful.
thank you very much.
Excellent. Thanks for coming out.
I'm sorry, were there any other questions? Okay.
I don't know if it's a question for him or maybe as a council, being that site, I welcome the project, more housing, but doesn't that limit what can happen to the property next to it? Because there is no parking if you take that out of the scenario.
So I can speak a little about that. So where this project came from was previously we had coordinated with MEDC to try to determine what the best use is of the property. So the MEDC worked with us and along with the consulting firms to determine that the best use of the property was seen as residential. That's where the townhouse design came from, which I can send you this information if you haven't seen it, because I don't think this has been presented to this council. Yeah, and actually our master plan even suggested the property zoning being changed because it was previously zoned as industrial, where only industrial uses were permitted, and the new zoning does allow for residential.
I guess my question is, so if you build apartment buildings there and somebody wants to put a factory in that other building,
It probably won't happen because of the parking is gone.
So
Which
yeah,
was-
that
Which was
property
already
hasn't-
kind of a thing.
So that
already.
property hasn't had an agreement with the village since 1997 to lease back that space.
okay.
And the way it is zoned is in regards to Mr. President, that yes, industrial uses wouldn't be permitted. It can only be utilized for like warehousing or, some lesser uses. But being that the site is over 90% developed, when our zoning only permits for 50% development, there are some difficulties with the non-conforming status of that property.
Maybe I can just note for council. So we don't have a recommendation as legal counsel tonight for council to take action on this. We're close. We appreciate the work by the developer and their legal counsel. We've been working with Craig and Doug and working through some issues. So we're close. I think we could probably target your next meeting in August with a recommendation. So Greg, hopefully that's satisfactory to you guys, but I think that's probably the timeline and horizon. So I'll continue to follow up, and our team will continue to follow up with Craig and Doug on the concerns that we have on the latest draft. But we have been going back and forth on some drafts, and there have been changes that we've asked for that have been made, and some changes that haven't been. We're going to try again.
Excellent. Thank you. Rhonda. It's your turn.
I know, I've been waiting very patiently. At least I got to do Tony Peterson's part. For those of you that are not, don't know what this is, Civic Plus is the group that puts all our ordinances on our website. So they do the codification every year or so. They send us a supplement. We update our book. But in the meantime, that's how all of our ordinances get on our website. They contacted me this year because they have a new subscription plan. So basically, we pay them that way versus by the page. They did provide, attached to my memo is some information that kind of shows what we would have paid if we went by the page versus what we would pay now. I'm sorry, I did this like a couple weeks ago, so I can't tell you what the actual dollar amounts are anymore, but they're in there. And so, yeah, in 2022, we paid, anyway, okay. Our average is $2,688 a year. Our subscription rate for the first year is going to be $22.18, and it will likely go up to $29.57 after that, because it is subject to an increase every year. But the increase on the subscription is a smaller percentage than the per page that we were doing. Also know that Doug is looking at a lot of potential ordinance changes, so the subscription rate could definitely save us money based on the work he's doing with the ordinance committee. So that would be the recommendation from us, is that we go with the subscription rate and sign this paperwork.
Ron, did I notice also in there, it does say you're not locked into this. So if you do it this year, you can switch next year?
I believe in there, we could change, yeah. I would have to double check that. Effective date of renewal, customers are invoice recurring. Yeah, I think it says in there that if we don't do it, we can, it says effective date of all the services provided. I mean, I don't think we're locked into that, no, but it's a better deal for us, so, yeah.
I mean, Civic Plus does so many municipalities across the state of
Well, they do
Michigan.
us now.
Across the country, yeah.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
do
they're-
us, they do
they're-
ours now.
It's
so.
almost, the great and terrible thing about this subscription or this service is that they roll out a baseline of ordinances, and then it's up to us to go through them and adjust as needed, which we've certainly spent a number of years doing, and continue to find challenges in doing that more frequently,
No, they don't. They're just taking what we give them.
which is exactly what I'm talking. The challenge belongs to us
Okay.
to go through that process and right size these ordinances to make sure that they make sense for our residents. So there are a lot, I mean, when we do make a lot of ordinance and code changes, and I think that that's part and parcel to the service. But I mean, this is kind of like electricity in my mind, because we just are constantly in that space, and I can't imagine doing that. I mean, can you imagine doing that as a job? I mean, there's a lot that we do every year, so this is a good service.
So we need a motion to approve the subscription to
Yep.
Civic Plus.
Yeah, I would. Thanks, Tracy.
Support.
All right, we have a motion. Support. We have a motion with support for the council to approve the Civic Plus statement of work based on quote Q73316-1 in the amount of $2,218. Rhonda, could we please have a roll call?
Mackenzie Peters. Ann Williams.
Here, yes.
I feel you. Robert Bishop. Tracy Gillespie.
Aye.
Richard Hamilton. John Osterbahn.
Aye.
Kevin Smith.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. All right, moving on to the closed session, which I do believe we cannot actually do because we need actually one additional person in order to do that. Correct?
Yeah, so if I may, under the Open Meetings Act, deliberations, decisions have to be made in public. However, for limited circumstances, the council can go into closed session. One of the purposes that's permissible under the Open Meetings Act to go into closed session is to review an attorney-client privilege communication. So a letter from me providing legal advice to the village council. However, to do that, as noted, we need to have affirmative vote of 5 out of 7 members to be able to go into closed session. Since we don't have 5 present tonight, we cannot do that. So I'll talk to Craig and maybe we'll do this closed session to review the attorney-client privilege communication at your next meeting in August. And while I can't go into any more detail about what the closed session was supposed to be about, that time frame doesn't do a disservice or harm the village.
So we're going to pass. All those in favor? I'm joking. All right, well, moving on then. It looks like we have in your packet, boards and commissions, draft minutes for the LDFA meeting of July 31st, draft minutes for the ZBA meeting, July 31st. Informational items, correspondence, local government, law bulletin, riveting stuff.
That's a good looking group, isn't it?
Yeah, look at that picture.
Yes.
Especially the one in the middle.
Right.
Dude in the middle.
Trends there.
I want him on my side. Him on my side. Bringing us to public comment. Would anyone like to take the podium? Great. All right, starting with you, John, final council comments.
No, anything else?
Tracy.
Irving Road is past my house now.
It always has been.
Huh? Well, they've been knocking
The
on
new
my door
one.
like every day for all, like, do you have to go anywhere today? Because we're gonna block your driveway, you know? So that's over with. Well, for now, till they come back, I guess, and pay.
That's made some good progress, actually.
It really is.
Anything else?
No.
Ann?
I have nothing, thank you.
All right. I have nothing. I think I'm all done for the night. This was a good, these are big sessions. We had a lot of interesting topics tonight, so,
We were supposed to have more interest.
yeah.
I didn't consume my words for the day.
If you want to hang out,
My poor dog.
we'll, Mark, you and I can burn some words afterwards. All right, well, with that, I believe a motion is in order.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, she jumps on that one. Support.
Oh, motion with
That or the
support.
support.
We have a motion with support for adjournment. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? None? Hearing none?
Bang your gavel. So we're supposed to have another council person?
Meeting adjourned, huh?
Supposed to have another council person? Did you hear from Mackenzie Richard?
No. Excused? No.